Good morning, this is Mary Grace with my July update for the Montgomery County Fair. Floss tube number 7, update number 7, July 7. When last I left you, I promised I would get my yarn off the drop spindle, which I did do. My friend was good enough to send me a bunch of texts. I finally did find 2 videos so I could get the proper wrap. I did not trust the process. I had some parts that were really crinkly, so I tried to uncrinkle them and wanted uncrinkling the other process. So it's definitely art yarn. Definitely first time try. Hopefully no one else tried this year and therefore I'll get a blue ribbon. In my last video, I was showing you the inside of my quilted bag. I have now finished it. I am really pleased with myself. I got a zipper tucked in and everything. And on the quilted department, there is a category called quilted accessory. And from sewing, I know that a tote bag is an accessory, so I now have a quilted accessory. And I'm really quite pleased with how it turned out. I am. Last time I also showed you that I had not yet finished these 2 ornaments. They are now finished. I put the green lace around them. I wanted to do them like this one, which I forgot to show you last time, in a witch's hat style because they are Halloween ornaments. But because I used material from Stash, it wasn't quite tall enough for me to make the triangle. So this is a Halloween ornament singular for that category, and then there's Halloween ornaments plural, and they go together. Unfortunately, I learned the hard way that you should not iron felt. I don't know what I was thinking. Now my brand new iron has felt on the bottom of it. I've gotten over 50% off scrapes with my nail, but I need to go back and see what I can do about it. But they are, and I pulled the yarn a little bit and it's curling just a little bit, but I'm just not going back. They're done, they're fine. So, more strings, gotta watch my strings. A friend of mine posted this cute tree that they were doing. I was like, so cute. So I want to do it. And so, of course, this material I rescued from the thrift shop a while ago. So it was great. And I had beads, and my DMC stuff is always from Stash. But I ran out of beads. So I had to go to Michael's and buy more white beads. These beads down here are not as pretty as these beads up here, but you're far enough away you can't tell. And I've decided it's not an ornament because it's over 4 inches long. So therefore that just makes it a Christmas decoration. This red around the edge is single fold bias tape from my stash. I will never use that again to try and finish a project. I think I spent more time finishing it than I did stitching it. Double fold bias tape works much better. I know, Mary Grace, use your iron, fold it over. But then it wouldn't be nearly as thick, and I wanted it to have a certain thickness. Here you can see the back side, which has the single fold area. That's how thin the framing would have been. Now you can see all of my stitching. Look, I had to run a machine. The machine part I was okay with, but then I had to go back and hand stitch, and my corners didn't miter quite as well as I would have liked them to, and there's threads I need to go back to. But look. It's my favorite brown king size sheet. Like I said, I'm going to need a whole floss tube on everywhere that brown size sheet wound up because, yeah, it was in the inside of my quilted bag too. I think I actually made the hanger a little short, but again, it's done. So Christmas, not ornament, decoration, cross stitch, unframed. Oh, beads. The thrift store. I was at the thrift store. And I got 30 bead packages for $1 a piece. I will never run out of beads again. They're vintage seed beads. They looked really nice, and I just will never run out of beads again. I should have resisted. I did actually put like 5 packages back while I was standing in line. Still walked away with quite a few packages. I had like 4 different packages of green, different shades of green, and ones that are even look like leaves. They are so cool. I can't wait to do something with them. So, thrift store. The pattern was free, although I'm probably going to send the designer coffee money because it's an awesome pattern. And I got her done. So, having mostly done the cross stitch unframed category, I decided to go back to needlepoint canvas again. And I did this needlepoint bag, obviously. It would have taken me less time if I'd cut the bag around here and made it smaller. This is the size of one piece of needlepoint plastic canvas that I rescued from the thrift store a long time ago. So that's from Stash. And the green felt inside, again, to hide things, hide stitches, because I don't want the judges to get distracted by my back sides or my undersides and not actually judge my work. I did learn that when I pull my yarn through the felt first, it gets skinny and doesn't cover the plastic as well as when I go through the plastic first, or not. Maybe I didn't even go through any yarn at all on this side. Hard to say, but it's mostly covered. Oh, and there's the owl that I've mentioned so many times. It's on the latch hook that you can't see. And of course, I used my favorite songbird patterns again, and I designed my own hummingbird. I had a hummingbird design. It had wings. It didn't look in the same motif as these other ones, so I used another bird and based it off and made my own hummingbird. So I now have a plastic canvas tote bag. Hope no one shows up. Everyone shows up in the tissue box category, the box category. I'm hoping no one else showed up in the tote bag category. And again, the yarn from Stash, because this is the same green yarn that I used for my latch hook. There's that same cardinal pattern. I used different reds than the first time I made this. It looks fine. So being in a plastic canvas mood, and off of that same pattern, I made a Christmas chickadee. And this is that blue yarn from Stash, felt from Stash, plastic canvas from Stash, all the yarn from Stash. So I'm really doing well with the Stash. Being in that same area, I went to do a magnet. And I didn't want it to just look like a ornament or coaster that I had just stuck a magnet on. Because in the original pattern, it is squared off. And in my mind, magnets have a form to them. So I left off the squareness. And of course, my fiber child says, "Mom, you did Texas." Look, see, there's that green felt again that I got from the dollar store. Dollar store green felt is great felt for putting on the backs. Being in a plastic canvas mood, I also made, this is an in process. I have a ghost, a cat, and a pumpkin, because in the plastic canvas department, there is a Christmas ornament category, but there's not a Halloween ornament category. There's a Halloween decoration category. So I'm going to do a moon, and I'm going to put these guys on the moon. And so like a moon is half a wreath, like something you put on your door. So that makes a decoration in my mind. So then I'll have my plastic canvas decoration. It's funny, these three did come out of a pattern book that says 101 ornaments. But I'm going to do the moon. And for a person who doesn't knit very often, I have 3 shades of yellow. They're all youthful shades of yellow that I probably used to use when I used to do baby blankets and put yellow in them. And I think the yarn, I used to knit, and then I got away from knitting, so I gave it to my sister. I think she gave it back to me. And I have them, so those are in process. Now, at the back of the Montgomery County Fair, they have a bookshelf. On the bookshelf, they have patterns, and you can give and take patterns. And I was looking for what patterns to leave, because I've gotten patterns that I've used. I was going through a magazine, and I found the cutest owl pattern. And I just had to do him. And hopefully, he goes in the 3D category, because he will, in fact, stand when I'm done with him. Cleaning him up on the inside so I didn't have string hanging everywhere, it's been a bit rough. I'm thrilled this awesome yarn that is tri-colored and variegated and changes, that came from the bag of yarn from the church lady. Love those church lady, those scraps you get at, scraps, love scraps things. So the owl's in process. I will easily have him done. Now, I finished the last non-food related category. I started and finished my stool. I was going to do a tuffet first. A tuffet is also a footstool, but you sew it. Little Miss Muffet sat on a tuffet. But the pattern, plus material, plus everything else, was going to be over $50. And I just didn't want to. So this was $30, including shipping. Except I had to go to Home Depot, because when we went to find the wood glue in the basement, of course, I thought it was hard, and I also needed tacks. Couldn't find the right size tacks. Bought them anyway. Shouldn't have. Was doing this outside because you had to put the wreaths in water. Spilt water everywhere, but it was outside, and I couldn't get the tacks to go in, so I just weaved it under like the sewer that I am. And of course, I posted on Facebook, and my sister posts one done by my nephew. His definitely looks better than mine, but it's done. Piece of furniture done, category met. That's the objective. Along the way, I have abandoned a few projects because getting into them, they started to take too much time. You'll remember the brick cover that was going astray. There was a few sewing projects that's going astray. And one project that went in the abandoned pile came back out of the abandoned pile because I decided that I wanted to finish it. And so I did finish my stump work. Look at the delicate wings on this dragonfly. I really did 5 wings. The one wing I had to redo because this is a button stitch of some kind. And there's one way you do it when you're doing a flat material, but when you're doing it on around a wire, because there's a wire hidden there, you need to go both up and down. You can't cheat. Sometimes when you sew, you can start and come back up and then pull through. And if you try and do that around the wire, the stitching gets really loose. It was even looser than that in some areas. So I took it out and I redid that part of that dragonfly. Oh, and this knitting netting, that's technically from Stash. I had a bridesmaid's dress and I gave it away, but I forgot to give away the little shawl thing, so I have this nifty blue netting material. I was like, oh, that's perfect. I'll just cut that up and use it because I didn't have anything else left that would go with this little see-through shawl thing. And then I have this material you might recognize as it was from the quilted rose I did earlier, one of the center pieces. This is actually the piece I cut out from the center of the rose, and I reused it here. So that is also from Stash. So I had a good bit of doing from Stash. So that is everything from my July update. Next time, I don't know if or when or how I'm going to do food update. We'll see how that goes. But thank you for watching, and I hope to see you all at the Montgomery County Fair, now less than a month away. I'm so excited. Thank you, and goodbye.